I was with Walter Fauntroy for 3 years. I left his office in about 77, 78, probably like 77. And from there, happened to be at a cocktail party, and this is in Washington, D.C., Southwest Washington, D.C., and met this young lady who we got to talking. She said, "Gee, you know, you'd make a good lobbyist for the cable television industry." And I said, "I don't know anything about cable." And she said, "Don't worry, I didn't know anything about it either when I got into it." So she introduced me to the head of the National Cable Television Association, a guy named Bob Schmidt. And he was looking for someone to represent the cable industry on Capitol Hill. I had worked on Capitol. I was working on Capitol Hill as a press secretary. He also wanted to add an African American or minority to the association, since there were very few minorities in cable at the time in the trade association or in the industry as a whole. Later on, I found out. So we hit it off, and he offered me the job as vice president for government relations, focusing on the deregulation of pay TV. And that was in 77, 78 time frame. And I moved to the NCTA.
Did you also have dealings with the FCC?
Yes, and as part of my job was to lobby all the government regulations, public interest groups, anyone who would be influential in trying to change the regulations affecting cable television. The biggest issue was the pole attachment issue. When first cable legislation passed, and I was there at the time, was a uniform pole attachment law that required telephone companies and power companies to give reasonable rates to allow cable companies to attach their poles. That was the biggest one. And the second one was the deregulation of pay TV. Before HBO and Showtime were heavily regulated, because again, the broadcasters didn't want to see commercial-free movies. And so the industry won a court victory that allowed cable companies to provide pay TV, mainly by making sure that the pay cable companies could get access to movies. The broadcasters had rules which limited, well, the government had rules urged by the broadcasters that limited the time when you could buy a movie to put on free TV. You couldn't buy the movie if it was between first year out and 3 years. You couldn't buy it at all. And between 3 and 5, you couldn't show it, and then after 10 you could show it. But after 10 years, who wanted to show a movie has been seen 100 times.